Yeah. So we're gonna do a little blast from the past. This question is gonna take it all the way back. This was like one of the hardest topics that we ever had. Everybody was struggling. So let's just see if everybody remembers how to do this. All right. So I want to evaluate b squared minus 4ac when a equals 3 and b equals -2. Tell me what to write. Very good. And then what do I do after this? Y'all the ones with the calculators, so very good. And then what do I do after that? Okay. That's legal. Even though I would have preferred you go left to right, but continue. I would have preferred if you went left to right, but that's legal technically. Yeah. Okay. This is the hard part. You got to count your fingers. What's this? There we go. Questions on this? Anybody? So we just plugging it in. All right. Just plugging the numbers. Little calculator. Click, click, click. 4 times 3 times 2. Mhm. Mhm. Good. All right. So I have another hard question. I mean, my God, so All right, a little bit harder. All right, my fault. Here you go. Good. Oh, you didn't get it? Okay, no, take your time. Take your time. Just let me know when. You got it? Okay, okay. So a little bit harder. This is the square root of 108. How do I do this? No, no, no. Because that would be 100 times 8 is 800. So it's like two. I want one of the numbers to be a perfect square that goes into 108. You don't have to pick the biggest one. You could pick a little one and we could just keep going at it like little by little if you want. That's fine. So what perfect square goes into 108? 36? Okay, okay. So square root of 36, and you said square root of 3, right? Let me think. Da, 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 Yeah, that's right. And then what's the square root of 36? I forgot. There we go. That's our final answer. 6 square root 3. Mhm. Got you. So we wanted the largest perfect square that would go into 108, but it's okay if you can't see that perfect square. You could do it with a smaller perfect square and then work your way up to it, right? To be honest, I was thinking about 9, right? Because isn't like 9 times 12 108? So go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Not 2. You could use 4, but not 2. It has to be a perfect square, you know? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's it. Three? What do you mean? Oh, the cube? Did you ever see a cube on your homework? If it's not on your homework, it's not on your test. Hmm? So look, this is what I was thinking in my head, right? Square root 108. I was thinking about square root 9 and square root 12. And then you know that 9 is just 3, right? So this is 3 square root 12, but I could keep breaking down 12. This is like what? Square root 4, square root 3. And then we know square root of 3, excuse me, square root of 4, we know is just 2. So 6 square root 3. So, yeah. So, hmm. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. You can go little by little. You don't have to go to the biggest perfect square that goes in. Ideally, yes. That's what we want to do. The largest perfect square that goes in. That's the goal. But if sometimes that number is really large and we can't see it. So you could break it up into smaller bite-sized pieces until you get to the end. But you have to remember, right, to bring down that number, right? It didn't disappear. It's still there. Right? And that's it. Questions on this? Anybody?
So both of them need to multiply.
Yeah,
First is 9 times 12, it's 108.
right.
And I just found what makes have
Mhm.
three,
Yeah.
4.
Mhm.
So everything is multiplication.
Yeah. Anytime you have two things next to each other, that's multiplication. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Gotcha.
By four? Okay, I got you. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. So the question is, what happens if we did square root of four? All right. So this would be square root four times what is 108 divided by four? So 27, right? And then square root of four is just two. So then now you have square root 27. What's the largest perfect square that goes into 27? Not three, the other one, the other number. It's not three, it's no, nine, right? So this would be two square root nine, square root three. Then the square root of nine is three, right? So this is just two times three, square root three, or six square root three. That's another way you could have done it. As long as you give me the right answer, I'm happy. You know? No, this is just simplifying. The plus or minus is when we have it equal to x or something. Yeah. All right, let me give you guys a minute to try this next one. Try that out. Let me know what you think. Help me out with this. This is kind of challenging. Square root of 50. What's the largest perfect square that goes into this? Good. Very good. And what's the square root of 25? Very good. And that's it. Is there any questions on this from anybody? Hmm? All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's check out what we're going to talk about today. So we are going to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. So when we solved quadratic equations in the last section by completing the square, we took the same steps every time. By the end of the exercise set, you may have been wondering, isn't there an easier way to do this? The answer is yes. Mathematicians look for patterns when they do things over and over in order to make their work easier. In this section, we will derive and use a formula to find the solution of a quadratic equation, right? We have already seen how to solve a formula for a specific variable in general, so that we would do the algebraic steps only once, and then use the new formula to find the value of the specific variable. Now we will go through the steps of completing the square using the general form of a quadratic equation to solve a quadratic equation for x. So we will start with the standard form of a quadratic equation and solve it for x by completing the square. Oh, baby. It's going to be fun. All right. I would write this out for y'all, but I would get carried away. So I'm just going to show it to y'all. And it's gonna be cool though. It's gonna be really cool. So check it out, right? So first, here's how we start this off. We have the standard form, right, of a quadratic, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a cannot equal 0, right? A cannot be 0. So remember how we complete the square. First, we want to isolate our constant terms on one side, keep our variables on the other. So we subtract c from both sides of the equation, right? Hold on one second. Where my blue at? Where my blue at? Here we go. So we're gonna subtract c from both sides of the equation, right? To get down to this part. So now we have ax squared plus bx is equal to negative c, right? But now remember our formula, right? We want to do what? Okay. Some of y'all been looking at the notes. All right, so minus b over 2 squared, right? But remember, in order for me to use this, I need my a term to be 1. So I have to divide every single term by a, right? Every single term gets divided by a to make my a term 1, right? Hold on, let me try that one again. Right? To make my a term 1. So now I have x squared plus b over ax is equal to negative c over a, right? Now I could plug it into the formula up here to figure out what I'm going to add on both sides, right? So multiply straight across, what do we have, right? 1/2 times b over a squared is going to give us b squared over 4a squared. You add that to both sides of the equation, right? And then after that, on the right-hand side, I mean, left-hand side, excuse me, right? That's going to become x plus b over 2a squared equals negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. Find the common denominator, right, of the right side and write the equivalent fractions with the common denominator. So I have a here and I have 4a squared here. So what do I need to multiply this by? By 4a, right? But what you do to the bottom, you gotta do to the top, right? To get that same denominator. And then let's see what happens after that. This is good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. All right. So we're gonna simplify this. Where can I click? I click right here. Okay. So I still have on my left-hand side x plus b over 2a squared, but now on my right-hand side, I have b squared minus the c over a times 4a over 4a, which becomes b squared minus 4ac over the 4a squared. Now I want to solve for x. Remember how we solve for x now? So we're gonna do what? Well, of course, we write them all under the same denominator. But how do we get rid of the square? We square root this, right? Get rid of the square. But what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. All right. So now we have x plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 4a squared. Remember that whenever you do the radicals, you can actually split them up when they're under the same radical. So this is b squared minus 4ac all over square root 4a squared, which simplifies down to make the 2a, right? After that, subtract the b over 2a onto the other side, and we have our quadratic formula, right? X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a, all right? Questions on this? It's not bad, right? Y'all can memorize this for your exam, right? Okay. I'm just kidding. Y'all got to memorize nothing. It's on your formula sheet. But that's it, though.
So you basically walked us through how to get there.
Hmm. If you didn't know how to get the formula, like where did the formula come from, right? It came from completing the square. So what I showed you guys on Thursday, that's like the ultimate formula, right? It works for everything, but it might be a lot of work to do. Remember, we got to isolate the constant term, and then we got to figure out what we're going to add to both sides of the equation and all that, right? And we did all of that work just to find out what the answer for x was. In this formula, it's straightforward. The answer for x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. You just plug in the numbers and do the math, and that's the end of the question. I'm gonna show you guys an example real quick, but just to recap, right? The quadratic formula. The solutions to a quadratic equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a does not equal 0, right, are given by this formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. To use the quadratic formula, we substitute the values of a, b, and c from the standard form into the expression on the right side of the formula. Then we simplify the expression. The result is the pair of solutions to the quadratic equation. Notice the formula is an equation, right? Make sure you use both sides of the equation. All right? And so we're clear. Let's try this out. Oh, baby. This is one of them hard questions right here. We got 2x squared plus 9x minus 5 is equal to 0. You remember back in the day when we used to have to factor this and then set them two factors equal to 0? Then we had the completing the square, which made it a little bit easier, but that's still a lot. Yo, look at this now. So remember that the standard form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, right? That's the standard form. So that being said, I want to know what are the coefficients, the numbers over here, right? For A, for B, and for C. So somebody tell me what A is, what number would represent A? 2, very good, right? What about B? What number represent B? 9, very good. What about C? -5, perfect. Is there any questions about finding A, B, or C? We good? Michael Jackson would be so proud. A, B, C. All right. After this now, right? This is a little bit harder, right? You got to write down your formula. Now I know some of y'all don't like to copy and paste, but y'all got to learn how to copy and paste, right? So you take the formula sheet and then you just copy it down. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. I had it memorized in high school, so that's why. Right? In case y'all wonder. So after that, right? All you got to do is take the numbers and plug them in. Light work, right? So this is what negative, and then what's b? 9, right? Just plug in that 9 plus or minus the square root b squared, right? So what's b again? It's 9, right? So 9 squared minus 4 times a. What's my a? 2 times c. What's my c? -5. Gotta make that a little bit longer. All divided by 2 times a, which is 2. This is the answer to the whole question. All we got to do is the math on it and we Gucci. So this is what? -9 plus or minus square root. 9 squared is what? 81, right? So 81. All right. And then -4 times 2 is what? It's like -8. And then -8 times -5, what's that? +40. Very good. And all of that is divided by 4. Now we got to add this up, right? So 81 plus 40, what's that? Very good, right? So this is going to be plus or minus square root 121 over 4. Help me out. What's the square root of 121? 11, right? So this is -9 plus or minus 11 over 4. We're almost done, right? We have two answers here. Go ahead. Yeah. So we have two answers here, right? So one answer is going to be -9 minus 11 over 4, which will give me a -20 over 4, which is equal to -5, right? And then we have another one that says -9 plus 11 over 4 is equal to, I think, +2 over 4, but you could reduce that down and just call that 1 over 2, right? And then these are my answers. And that's it. Is there any questions on this? Go ahead.
Uh, You just think like obviously.
Yeah.
That's the plus or minus.
Yeah.
That's where I was fuzzy.
Yeah.
Buying them and buying first.
Got you. No, no. At the end, divide it. Yeah. Hmm. So in web work, you would like write down one, put a comma, then write down the other number, that kind of thing. Yeah. So no questions? We good? That's pretty much the lesson for today. So y'all can knock out your homework. I do have more examples to go over, but yeah. Does anybody want to see another one or we can move on? Huh? One more? All right. It is gonna be, yeah. Yeah. It is on the formula sheet. Both of them, the completing the square and this is on the formula sheet. So try this out real quick.
So the second one was,
Oh, 1/2.
but it was 4 and
Yeah.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
We need to break this thing, so 2, 1. And so
Mhm. We'll try that out. Good. Good. Okay. All right, let's take a look. So just to recap, right? Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And we have 3y squared minus 5y plus 2 is equal to 0, right? What's my A, what's my B, and what's my C? Very good. And what's B? Very good. And what's C? 2. Now, all you want to do is just write down your formula. So it's x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a, right? And this is going to be what? Negative of negative 5 plus or minus square root of negative 5 squared minus 4. A is 3 and C is 2, right? And all of this is divided by 2 times A, which is 3. A little bit of math. Let's see what we got. This is positive 5 plus or minus square root. And then we have 25 minus 24, I believe. Yeah. All divided by 6. So this becomes what? 5 plus or minus square root 1 over 6, which becomes 5 plus or minus. Go ahead.
On the denominator.
Oh, it's 2 times 2. I put 3, my fault. You're right about that. That was a good catch. So now I have 2 answers here, right? One of them is going to be 5 minus 1 over 4. And the other one is going to be 5 plus 1 over 4. This one is 4 over 4. Call that 1. This next one is 6 over 4. 1 second. 6 over 4 or 3 over 2. It's 3 over 2. That's it. Questions on this, anybody?
And this question was supposed to be two by two times two, I bet 2 times.
You did put 2 times 3?
At the bottom.
It is 3. Hold on.
Section 4, 6, but then at the bottom.
Because it's 2 times A and A is 3. Yeah, my fault.
That's
My fault.
I think I did.
My fault. Nah, so that changes things over here.
These are the same, it's just like
They are?
they get 1 and 2.
no, I posted 1 and 4. Because 5 plus 1. That's a 6 divided by 6. 1.
So I got 2/3 and 1.
You got add this.
That's what I got.
This would be 6 over 6. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I got it right.
you got it right. Yeah, got you.
This is not a problem.
Which is not -5. No, no, no. Because a negative and a negative becomes positive over here, see? Oh, I forgot the line disappeared. Nah, nah. Because there we go. Now it looks perfect. The formula is negative b, right? And b is -5, so a negative and negative is positive. Right? Yeah, yeah. All right. So before we continue, I just want to give y'all a little bit of notes. Go ahead. We are. Yeah. Yeah. You'll get it the day of. But you can take a look at it now if you want. It's in the announcements. Yeah. So real quick, just want to give you guys some notes. All right. This is how to solve a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. Step one, write the quadratic equation in standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Identify the values of a, b, and c. Step two, write the quadratic formula. Then substitute in the values of a, b, and c. Step three, simplify the answer, right? And then step four, they say check the solutions. All right. That's it. Let's look at another example. All right. So if you say the formula as you write it in each problem, you'll have it memorized in no time. And remember, the quadratic formula is an equation, right? So be sure you start with x equals. All right. Let's try this out. Yep, let's try this out. Now, this one's a little bit different. Hold on. So come over here. So the problem with this question is that it's not in standard form. So what is our standard form again? Let's recap real quick. Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? So now what do we have? We have instead x squared minus 6x is equal to -5. We need to bring that -5 over to the other side. So I'm going to add 5 over here. But what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. Add 5 over here. So now I have what? X squared minus 6x is equal to positive 5. Excuse me, plus 5 is equal to 0. Sorry about that. Right? So now here's the hard part. What's my A? What's my B? And what's my C? So A is what?
1.
Very good. What's B? Very good. What's C? Good. So now we just go straight to our formula, right? What's our formula again? So now just plug it in. This is going to be negative of -6 plus or minus square root -6 squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is 5. So this will be 2 times 1. And then negative is positive, plus or minus square root. This is 36 minus 20 all over 2, which becomes 6 plus or minus, right? This is 16. You see, square root 16 over 2. This will be simplified down to 6 plus or minus 4 over 2. Now we have two answers. One answer is going to be 6 minus 4 over 2. And then the other one would be 6 plus 4 over 2. 10 over 2, the answer is 5. All right. So that's how we would factor these. Just plug in the numbers and that's it. The hardest part of this question was putting it in standard form. Mm-hmm. Yep. Go ahead.
No way. Talking the number.
Got you. Go ahead.
Minus.
Mm-hmm.
Only got one answer.
Should have made this one, right? My fault. My fault.
Minus.
I have a one.
Yeah, I put it on the left-hand side. Yeah, it's just one. Yeah, I'm gonna give that out on Sunday. Um, fair enough. I could do that Thursday. Mhm. Sure, sure. You say you want me to go up? Got you. No problem. Yeah, yeah. You're welcome. New question. Try it out. Same topic, same everything. Just to be fair, real quick, standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And my formula is x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. All right, try that out. All right, let's check this out. A little bit hard. What's my A? What's my B? And what's my C? Just to recap, we have 2x squared plus 10x plus 11 equals 0. What's A? Good. What's B? Good. What's C? Perfect. All right. So now we just want to plug this in. So we're going to have x is equal to negative 10 plus or minus square root 10 squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C. All divided by 2 times A. So a little bit of math, this becomes negative 10 plus or minus square root 100 minus 88. Good. Good. Square root 4 over. Good. So this is negative 10 plus or minus 2 square root 3 Then both over 4. This becomes negative 5 plus or minus 1 square root 3 all over 4. No, sorry about that. This is going to be over 2. The last one will be over 2. So negative 5 plus or minus square root 3 over 2.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so I was. Well, then how do you get to those? So did you divide by one?
So I broke apart the denominator and put both of them under 4, right? So negative 10 over 4 and 2 square root 3 over 4. Then just simplify. Negative 10 and 4 get negative 5 over 2 plus or minus. Then the 2 will cancel out on the top and the bottom. So we just have square root 3 over 2. That's it. Yeah. Well, there's two answers there. But you see, because it has that radical, there's nothing I can really do, you know? If it was like a whole number, like 6 plus 10 and 6 minus 10 kind of thing, I could write that down. But when it's a fraction like that with the radical, just leave it alone.
I don't. Yeah, that's true. Uh, because you did it right away, in my, on the,
Hmm. I did it right away, I think.
well, what about the plus and minus?
It's always there. It doesn't go disappear.
Because it's like,
Yeah, because the radical is there, yeah. Mhm.
So I got you at, 10 plus or minus 2.
Square root 3 over 4.
Yeah.
Good.
Over 4.
Mhm.
Then what is the solution, both, and how did you divide that, I'm sorry?
So I just broke apart the 4 part in the denominator, so it became negative 10 over 4 plus or minus 2 square root 3 over 4, and I just simplified it.
Uh, so the 4 becomes a 2 on the bottom, negative 5 on top.
Yeah.
That gets rid of the 2 up top,
Exactly.
and that's just, so 10 plus the 2 with 3 is
Mhm.
only half of the answer, or that's only the answer, and then the second answer is the full answer?
Yeah, this is the full answer. Let me box it.
So it's not really 2 answers, it's just the one.
It is 2 answers because of the plus or minus. One of them is negative 5 over 2 minus square root 3 over 2, and the other one is negative 5 over 2 plus square root 3 over 2. We good. That's it. But that's only when we have radicals. If we had like whole numbers, we would do it out.
With frac, you have to.
Right. Yeah.
See, that's.
Got you.
Cause I'd be like. Oh,
Yeah.
doing too much.
I got you.
Like when they cut it off, you can put the whole time to.
Yeah. Yeah, I could. I could rewrite it as negative 5 plus or minus square root 3 over 2. Next. Go ahead.
We have two top line and then
Yeah, the top line over one. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. No, you good. You good. So, quick note: when we substitute a, b, and c into a quadratic formula, and the radicand is negative, the quadratic equation will have imaginary or complex solutions, right? So, for example, sorry about that. So remember, to use the quadratic formula, the equation must be written in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Sometimes we need to do some algebra to get the equation standard form before we can substitute in the quadratic formula, such as this equation right here. Very simple. Distribute, combine like terms, quadratic formula, you good to go. All right. Give you guys a minute to try it, then we'll do it. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in class, but I might have said in the announcement, like this is the last week for homework, you know? So no new homework after this, you know. That's still not due yet. It's due like on the 31st, but you know, that's it.
please.
Yeah. Like you know how every week I give you new homework? Like this is it for homework. Like no more new homework after this week. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, but it's not due. Homework is not due till the 31st though, so y'all got time. Yeah, yeah. But no, the makeups for the test, I need them back like the 30th if possible. Yeah. Like the 30th is the last time I'm accepting that. That is the final day. Like that's the day of the final. Yeah. The final is it. Yeah. Nah, no corrections for that. But the final is easy though. Huh? It could be the 23rd. I mean, so nah, it was supposed to be the 29th, but everybody here voted for the 30th, so but keep it 100 with you. I don't see why it couldn't be the 23rd, but yeah. Well, the final's mad easy. We're gonna prepare for it. 28, I think. It's not too bad. After your test on Thursday, y'all could check it out. I posted a practice final on your homework.
But it's, it's not.
Nah, you come in anytime.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, same time, 12 to 6, Monday through Thursday in person. 12 to 6, Sunday through Thursday online. And like I was saying, like for the corrections, if you guys want, y'all could do the corrections on online, right? And then you could just go in person one day and have one of the in-person tutors just verify that everything you did was correct. And then they can sign off on it and just bring it to class. If they're just checking your work, it wouldn't take them like 5 hours to check your work. Like 1 hour probably is good enough. Yeah. And that's like you chatting with them while they're checking your work kind of thing. So everybody got the answer? No? All right, let's try it out. Let's try it out. So first thing I want to do, right? I want to get this in standard form. So just to recap, standard form is what? AX squared plus BX plus C is equal to 0, right? So the first thing I want to do, I have X times X plus 6 plus 4 is equal to 0. Distribute that X onto every single term. So what do I have? I have X squared plus 6X plus 4 is equal to 0. After that, what's my A? What's my B? And what's my C? So what's A? 1. Very good. What's B? 6. Very good. What's C? Perfect. And then now we have our formula, right? So remember, our formula is what? It's X is equal to negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all divided by 2A. And then after that, all you have to do is just plug in your numbers, right? This is going to become X equals negative of B, which is 6, plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times A, which is 1, times C, which is 4. All of this divided by 2 times 1. A little bit of math. I have negative 6 plus or minus square root 36 minus 16, all divided by 2. This will become what? Negative 6 plus or minus square root 20. Yeah. Over 2. We could simplify square root 20 though. This is going to become what? Negative 6 plus or minus square root 4 times square root 5 over 2, which will become negative 6 plus or minus 2 square root 5 over 2. And then we could simplify this down just a tad bit more, right? We could make this negative 6 over 2 plus or minus 2 square root 5 over 2. These 2's will cancel. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into negative 6, negative 3 times. Final answer. X equals negative 3 plus or minus square root 5. And that's it. Questions on this, anybody? That's where we started from up here. It's better to do that. Yeah.
That's not that. Negative 6 plus minus 2 add 2.
2 radical, yeah. I would simplify it. If you can simplify, you should simplify. Yeah. For the quadratic formula at least. You know? If we were doing completing the square, we would come out with the same answer. X equals -3 plus or minus square root 5. So any questions? Anybody? That's the final answer.
I think that's 2 and 12.
2 times 1. 2 times 1 on the bottom.
Same. Yeah.
Everybody good? No questions? All right. Can I take this down? All right. Appreciate y'all. Well, that's actually it for tonight.